Hello and welcome to the first episode of Grudge Match Unlimited, the show that expands into the ether of the fandom universes to find the most epic fighters imaginable and bring them together for slugfests of massively epic proportions. On this episode, we look to crown possibly the biggest badass in all of video gaming by pitting two of the biggest badasses around against one another. From Capcom and Devil May Cry, it's Dante and Sony's God of War, Kratos. Both of these characters have been the protagonists of a lengthy multi-game franchise, and both of these characters seem to have very similar abilities in terms of fighting skills and taking on different kinds of weaponry and magics, and having an indomitable spirit and indomitable will in order to overcome seemingly much more powerful opponents. Taking a look at Dante first, the protagonist of the Devil May Cry video game series. He is the half-demon, half-human son of Sparda, Sparda being one of the most powerful, if the most powerful demon lord of all history, who fought on the side of the humans in order to close off the demon world from the human world in order to protect all of mankind. Dante is one of two sons of Sparda. He has a twin brother, Virgil, and Dante's profession is that of a devil hunter. He spends all of his time throughout all of the Devil May Cry video games fighting demons and monsters and even occasionally taking on really powerful lords of the demon realms and even gods in some cases. Now, to do this, he utilizes a number of skills, abilities, and powers. His inherent abilities include vastly heightened superhuman strength, speed, agility, and durability. And then beyond that, he uses a number of magical weapons. He's always seen with his signature sword, Rebellion, as well as his signature twin pistols, Ebony and Ivory. But beyond that, he's adopted and utilized a variety of other devil arms that give him a variety of other abilities, such as the ability to control ice, fire, wind, light, explosions, sound, lightning, just a wide variety of magical abilities inherent to these new weapons that he picks up along his way. He also has the ability to go into an enhanced rage-like state of enhanced power known as Devil Trigger. This is where he transforms from his human form into a more demon-looking form, and it increases his power, strength, durability, and magic to a wide degree until it runs out and he goes back into his human form. Kratos, the protagonist of the God of War series, is a warrior of the highest degree. He has been the leader of the Spartan armies for many years at the later points of his life, but he comes from even more powerful beginnings. He actually finds out throughout his journeys that he is the son of Zeus, which makes him a half-god. But before he found out about his parentage, he was a servant to the then god of war, Ares. Ares betrayed him and got him to accidentally kill his own wife and child, hoping that that would turn him into an even more powerful warrior for Ares. This had the opposite effect that Ares wanted, and it turned him into having a lifelong mission of killing Ares, the one who betrayed him and caused him to kill his own wife and child. And once he accomplished that at the end of the first game in the series, he took over as the new God of War. He was infused with all of Ares' godly power and became the new God of War. Throughout the rest of the series, he found himself falling out of that position, falling out of favor with the rest of the gods, and eventually going on to kill all of the gods of the Greek pantheon of gods. Now, to do this, he has a variety of magical weapons and abilities, just the same way Dante does. His primary weapons are the Blades of Chaos, the twin blades that are bonded to his arms by chains that have been burnt right into his skin. He uses those to very proficient effect, but on top of that, he's collected a number of additional magical artifacts throughout his travels, as well as spells that were graced to him by the other gods and the titans. These include things like lightning bolts, whirlwinds, bow and arrow that can fire blasts of light, commanding the armies of the dead, throwing fire and boulders, and all kinds of enhanced abilities through the magic and weaponry that he's found along his way. He can also have a temporary state of extreme power, much like Dante's Devil Trigger. Kratos' is called the Rage of the Gods. This sends him into a heightened state of power that lasts for a very short time, but for that short time, he is virtually indestructible and his power level increases greatly. So these characters have a lot in common. Both of them are half mortal, half immortal. Both of them have the same baseline abilities of heightened strength, speed, agility, and durability. Both are then have their powers augmented by finding various magical spells and artifacts that give them additional powers on top of that. But where they diverge are in a few critical areas. Dante is seen to take a much more lighthearted approach to his career as a devil slayer and as a hero who saves the world on many occasions. He's a much more sarcastic character, and he has a much more stylish flair when he fights, that he likes to jump around, dodge opponents. Almost seems like he's dancing in midair while he's fighting a lot of the time, and this is bore out throughout the game by having a stylish meter, so the more interesting moves you do while fighting an opponent will up the stylish meter and ultimately yield you higher rewards. So Dante has a much more stylistic flair when he fights, versus Kratos, who is much more known for his brutality. He's much more of a brute type of character who likes to get as violent and as dangerously vicious as possible, rather than jumping and dodging. While he can do that, he mostly goes full force against an opponent and destroys them in the most epically violent way possible. One thing to note about both of these characters is that throughout the course of their games and stories, both of these characters have died on more than one occasion, and both have resurrected, come back from that death. What that means throughout the course of this fight is that neither one of these characters can be put down in any permanent manner, so even a fight to the death would ultimately result in whoever loses getting back up and coming back to life at some point. So what it's going to come down to is who can more easily be killed to any degree to where you can say they've been killed, and then who might take longer in returning from that death and resurrecting to come back to life. So having taken a look at the power, skills, abilities, weaponry, and style of both of these characters, it's time now to determine who would win if they were to ever clash in one-on-one competition. That winner's going to be Dante. The son of Sparta takes the crown of the most badass character in all of video gaming. What it comes down to is Dante's durability is at a much higher level than Kratos is. Dante has been seen many times and on several occasions to have sustained injuries that should be fatal, and he seems to shrug them off, sometimes even laughing while he does so, seeming to have absolutely no trouble with instantly healing from being completely skewered right through his body, and seemingly virtually invincible to a lot of different types of attack. Additionally, he can fall from any height, land on his feet, and not be troubled by it at all. These are the kind of things that tend to be more difficult for Kratos. Kratos has to have wings in order to slow his descent, because if he falls from too far of a height, he'll end up getting injured, and the times he's been run clean through have resulted in him dying and going to the underworld and having to fight his way back from it. So while he does have the strength and durability of a god, and that allows him to absorb quite a lot of punishment, Dante has been seen to survive much worse punishment and do so with a smile on his face as if it didn't even bother him. Additionally, Dante is much faster in his ability to dodge, jump around, jump higher, and seemingly be moving around the battlefield and be everywhere at once than Kratos is. Kratos can be seen to maybe be the stronger of these two, but being much, much faster and very strong himself, Dante would be able to dodge more of Kratos' attacks, respond with more of his own, and the attacks that he does sustain from Kratos, he would be able to heal from quicker or just simply be more durable to them. So Dante, the son of Sparda and the protagonist of the Devil May Cry series, is going to take home the victory of this Grudge Match Unlimited. So thanks for watching. Respond below with your own thoughts about this outcome, as well as any suggestions for future Grudge Match Unlimited episodes. We'll see you next time on the next edition of Grudge Match Unlimited.